Welcome to this video for World Cancer Day. Dane here, Chief Medical Advisor at Active IQ. In this video I'm going to go through what cancer is, what's currently happening in the UK, then I'm going to talk a little bit more, given we're Active IQ, about the physical activity benefits and the resources that you could use. So cancer is a well-known condition. Most of us know someone who has it, or we've had it ourselves, or it's touched a family member or a colleague. So this is something most of us have come into contact with, and there are hundreds of different types of cancers. Now, the majority of normal cells in our body replicate by a process known as mitosis. In cancer, due to mutation in the genes that control this can lead to accelerated division rates or inhibition of normal control mechanisms in the body that stop a cell from dividing uncontrollably or stop a cell from doing what it can be programmed to do, which is programmed cell death. Now, all these mechanisms help us to keep cell growth in check. So if it's uncontrolled growth of cells, then this can lead to cancer. Now, cancer can affect nearly any part of the body, and it can be solid, such as a tumour, for example, in the bowel or the lungs, or it can take a different form, such as blood cancers, for example, leukemia. So now let's have a look at the landscape. So here are some of the statistics around cancer in the UK. Now, these graphics are based on the Cancer Research UK graphics. It's a great website with a lot of resources, tools, and information that you can pass on as well. So more than a half of new cancers are breast, prostate, lung or bowel. So that's your kind of big four really. There are 559,960 new cases in the UK, of which there are 163,444 deaths from cancer. So these are large numbers, and again you can have a look at these statistics in more detail on their Cancer Research UK website. Now, 38% of cancers are thought to be preventable. Now obviously this is an interesting and key statistic, given that's what we want to try and influence. Some of it is about finding a cure, but some of it is also about preventing it in the first place. So talking of prevention, there are many different risk factors for cancer. So Cancer Research UK use this nice kind of carousel design to display what they feel are the big kind of influencing factors that we can change. So each icon is one of those risk factors that we can change. So for example, on the left there is smoking. Then if you move across from left to right, then you've got weight. Then you've got fruit and vegetables. Potentially you could add the processed meats into that section. Then you've got sun. Then you've got alcohol. And then you've got physical activity. So very broad lifestyle kind of choices that you can change. Now, if all areas are done well, then in theory the risk of cancer will be lower. But cancer is a very emotive subject, and therefore there have been some Cancer Research UK education pieces that have faced a backlash. But I think for me the key messages are we can reduce risk, but we can't make it go away entirely. And sometimes whatever you do, you could do everything on this list and you can still get cancer. So it's not about blame by any means, but it's about trying to reduce risk where we can. And therefore we must give honest advice to a patient to allow them to try and change their lifestyle and reduce that risk. So obesity was the advert that Cancer Research UK did, where there was quite a bit of backlash. However, obesity is linked to cancer. And therefore, having a healthy weight is really important to try and reduce the risk of cancer. And I guess as Cancer Research UK, they have a very difficult task to ensure they get the key messages across to protect the public, but at the same time without offending the public, given the emotive nature that is cancer. CRK have done a range of infographics, so they've also done stuff around childhood and junk food kind of use. And it's linked to obesity and risk. So again, this is another great kind of infographic, and there's references there below. But again, really important to try and get good behaviours taught early, so that hopefully that will lead to less obesity later on in life. Smoking is another common one. So is processed meats. So this infographic looks at smoking and processed meats. And you can see that both increase your risk of cancers, but only of certain types. And again, this infographic really displays what happens if as a public whole we stopped eating red meat or processed meats as a whole, and the same with if we all stop smoking, for example. So again, have a little look at this infographic, but it's really nicely displayed and gets across the topic well. Obviously, smoking on its own is a massive issue, and even with the smoking ban, numbers have gone down, but there is still a lot of people that are smoking, and smoking increases your risk of 15 types of cancers quite easily. So they're shown here. The larger circles are the ones that are more common in the UK, just so you can see that. So again, you can get all of these infographics off the Cancer Research UK website. So to assess your lifestyle and get advice, Cancer Research UK also has a tool on their website. So do check it out. It's a great tool. You basically plug in what you do for each of these kind of risk factors, and it then gives you advice and signposts you to where to go next. So I use this a lot with my patients, and you might find it a great tool to use with your health and fitness clients too. So, cancer and physical activity. Well, physical activity is a key role to play in cancer. And while it can't cure cancer, it can play a role in prevention and also equally in the post-diagnosis phase. So this graphic from the Moving Medicine's website, so it's movingmedicine.ac.uk, is the Moving Medicine Cancer Resource, and explains the benefits of physical activity. On the preventative side, physical activity can reduce systemic inflammation, which is thought to be a possible contributor to cancers, can also help to maintain weight and improve body composition, which is also key. In terms of post-diagnosis and secondary prevention, exercise is important to help regulate fatigue. It can help to improve mood, and quite understandably, those who might be diagnosed with cancer, mood might be lower than usual. It would also help to improve sleep. And those who are fitter tend to have better or lower post-operation complications. So actually being fitter before you go for an operation means your risk is lower of complications. So these are all some of the benefits of physical activity. You can see the full range on this infographic here. So this is really important that we get these across to patients, that they need to be active, and these are all the benefits they'll get from it. Obviously, this is just one of many things they need to do. In terms of Moving Medicine, if you haven't come across it, Moving Medicine is the brainchild of the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine, so the UK-based faculty, and is supported by Sport England and the Public Health England, as well as with a range of colleges, for example, the Royal College of GPs, the British Association of Sport and Exercise Medicine, a range of people. So most healthcare professionals come together and said, we're supporting this resource as the physical activity resource for chronic disease. Now, the site has a range of information. The idea is that you work through it with your patient or client in front of you, and you discuss the benefits of activity and try to make them change their behaviour. So it's definitely using a behaviour change model. There are lots of patient resources and leaflets on it too, and they've got a great section on cancer too. So do have a look at that. It's really well done. So in terms of training beyond that for a health and fitness professional, well, if you've already done exercise referral, then from then on you can consider level 4 in cancer. So the guys at Can Rehab do a fantastic job with this qualification, but there are other cancer level 4s available. So again, do check them out. So to summarise, physical activity can contribute to primary and secondary prevention of certain cancers. Moving Medicine is a range of resources for healthcare professionals, but also for health and fitness professionals around giving physical activity advice, but particularly in cancer. And remember, 38% of cancers are preventable. And really, I think that us in the fitness industry, we have a great opportunity for change. These are skills we've been taught. We know about behaviour change. We can influence most of these lifestyle risk factors. So what can we do, or what can you do in your local community to try and influence this? So we'll be releasing a range of links and resources through our social media, so keep a lookout for these. And as always, get in touch if you have any questions or thoughts. See you soon.